Hello everyone and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Matt, and in today's video we're going to be talking about popular houseplants that I hate. Now, hate is a strong word. Obviously I don't hate any plant, like it's just a plant, it's not that deep, so I don't hate these plants. I just don't like them very much for one reason or another, and that is exactly what I want to discuss in this video. I try to choose plants that are generally liked and plants that usually people, actually like and want in their collections, but I am one of those people that does not want any of these plants in my collection. At least not as of right now. My opinion always changes, and just because I hate something today doesn't mean I will always hate it. For example, I used to hate the color yellow, and now I literally sit in a yellow chair. And I just want to throw in a quick little disclaimer. Just because I'm talking smack about these plants doesn't mean that you can't love these plants. Heck, if you like any of these plants that I am talking about, go ahead, love them, give them all the love and care that they deserve, because they are not gonna get it from me. I will be roasting these girlies today, alright? So without further ado, grab yourself some popcorn, some tea, and let's get this roast to cook. We're gonna be starting off real strong. This is a very controversial one, and it is gonna be the philodendron Spiritus Sancti. That's right, the plant that was oh so popular a couple of years ago, the plant that literally costed an arm and a leg. These went for hundreds, thousands of dollars, which is insanity, and I never liked this plant. It's just never appealed to me. The growth pattern is kind of yucky. I don't like it very much. It takes up a lot of space. I do like the elongated sword-like leaf. I will give it that. Other than the leaf shape itself, it's really just not interesting to me. I am actually looking at some photos online, and I don't see the hype. The color, I guess, is pretty, but I mean, it just looks that way on the photos. I'm pretty sure that in real life it doesn't look as nice and silvery. The green venation is just basic. The lobing, I guess, fun. I don't know. My biggest issue with this plant is just how much space it takes up and how much it sprawls, and yeah, it just requires a lot of space, and it seems like a plant that would get out of hand really fast. It has a similar vibe to me as the philodendron UPI. That one is also just a plant that loves to spread everywhere, and that's another plant that I actually don't really like. But I wanted to talk about the Spiritus Sancti in particular because I know that that plant is so popular, and literally everybody and their grandma and their aunt and their uncle wanted this plant. I don't know if they're still mega popular. I do know that the price of them is coming down finally, thank God, because these were priced ridiculously, and nowadays you can actually get a pretty sizable specimen for a decent price. But I'm not interested. I am not interested in growing that plant. I don't know, it might be just my general hatred towards philodendrons, because if you've been on this channel, you know that philodendrons and me we have a love-hate relationship. In theory, I love them. In theory, I think they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, but in practice, oh my God, they are such divas. They always get pests. They are so high maintenance. They all require moss poles. It's just, I don't know, me and philodendrons, we fight. We are in a constant battle. Part of the reason why I don't like the Spiritus Sancti very much is because it's a philodendron. But yeah, I don't know. It just looks like a pretty basic plant, if I'm being completely honest. However, I will say the one thing that I love about this plant, and I think this is a great example of plant marketing, which is the name. Obviously, Spiritus Sancti. I mean, it just sounds so powerful, it sounds religious, it sounds like almighty, it sounds like some kind of like angel or some kind of biblical manifestation, and it just sounds cool. It's a cool freaking plant name, and I am like 99% certain that the reason that this plant is so popular is because of its name, because the name is just so cool, it's so catchy, it evokes so many feelings and emotions, and that is a big part of marketing. And I think that this plant has a really great marketing strategy, and that just saying the name Spiritus Sancti, it just sounds like you're talking about something so rare, so elusive, so out of this world that it's just appealing. It is just appealing to own. And I think that's part of the appeal for this plant. But even with such a cool ass name, I'm just like, I'm personally not interested in this plant. And I think that the name and the plant don't go together, because when I hear the name Philodendron Spiritus Sancti, I imagine something so cool. I don't know, just something really cool. And then I Google it and I look at the pictures and I'm like, huh, that's it? Really? Okay, girl. The next plant on my list is one that was extremely popular back in the COVID days, back when everybody was in lockdown. And I believe that this plant was actually really expensive back in the day, and it was hard to find. And I'm talking about the goddamn Pilea peperomoides. I do not understand the hype of that plant. I never owned one. I don't want to own one, even though they are super accessible, they're super cheap. Like, I could literally ask any of my friends that have them because they propagate so easily, but I am just not interested in this plant. So this is also known commonly as the Chinese money plant, and it's yuck. I don't know, something about the leaf shape, the texture of it, the way it grows, the way it has no sinus. The stem gives me the heebie-jeebies, because it looks like some kind of like piece of wood, but then it has those little holes, and it's very trypophobic. I am not a fan, okay? I am not a fan. Like, I think they can be a cool addition to your collection. I do think they offer something a little bit more interesting, a little bit more unique than like your regular, green leafed plants, but I don't know, I just don't like them. And I don't like how they shoot those little babies everywhere, like literally out of every hole, out of every crevice. Like, there is babies galore with this plant. I don't know, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. It freaks me out. And I mean, looking at these photos, like, they don't look horrible. Like, I think people definitely find cool and unique ways to style these guys, but just still, even when I see like a cool specimen where I'm like, oh wow, this is really nicely styled, I am just, I'm not into it. I don't know, it just, and when I look at the leaves closer up, I can see like it has some kind of like micro texture, and I don't have like one in real life, so I have to rely on photos, but it looks like it has some micro texture, some like yellowish spots. It just doesn't look that healthy. I don't know anything about the care of this plant. I would assume that it's pretty easy, since literally everybody and their grandma has one. I'm not here for it. And yeah, I mean, if you love this plant, go for it. Freaking rock it. I know a lot of you guys probably own this plant, and I respect your right to own this plant. But in my own collection, it's gonna be a no from me, dog, okay? Next up, I have actually a whole species of plants, or variety of plants, and it's a certain variety that is extremely popular right now, and that is variegated anthuriums. I cannot. I'm sorry. I cannot. They look so sickly. They just look damaged. They look unhealthy. They just look ugly. I'm sorry, they just look freaking ugly. Most of these variegated anthuriums have that like minty or more marbly or speckled variegation, and in general I will say that that kind of variegation tends to look a little bit more sickly and unwell. I think if it had more like sectoral variegation, maybe I would like it more, but I don't know. I'm just like looking at some random pictures online, and I can find maybe like 1 or 2 examples that look decent-ish, but most of them just look bad. They just look so sick, they look so sad. And let me not even get started on how much these things cost. Like, anthurium prices in general are out of this world. Like, they're crazy, they're through the roof. Like, we live in such wild dystopian times where people shelf out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for anthuriums. It's literally crazy. In my opinion, most of them look the same, and I like anthuriums. I really do. I have nothing against anthuriums, but I just think we live in this crazy time where people just spend a lot of money on anthuriums, okay? And there's a lot of hybrids going around, and I cannot keep up, and I don't know how anybody can keep up, but that's a whole nother topic. Like, you do you, boo. If you love anthuriums, you do you, boo. But the variegated ones, I cannot with the variegated ones. They just don't look nice. And they are so expensive, and we all know anthuriums, like, they are not the easiest genus. They love to throw tantrums, and I like the regular green ones love to throw tantrums, and I can only imagine how difficult the variegated ones are, because not always, but as a general rule, usually variegated plants are a little bit more difficult than their like regular green variety. So I can just imagine how difficult some of these variegated anthuriums are, and I don't know, man, if I paid so much money for a plant and then it wasn't doing well like ever, and even if it did give me a nice leaf, it looked like a variegated anthurium, which is sickly, I would be very, very upset. I just choices were made, but I don't know how popular they are, to be frank. Like, I'm not in any anthurium groups, I'm not connected to any anthurium sellers, but I would assume that people do buy them since they are so popular and everybody's talking about them. So I guess somebody's buying them, but that somebody ain't me, okay? Because first of all, I'm poor, and second of all, even if I had the money for one of these, I'm not sure. I am really, really not sure. So, No. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No bueno. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Moving away from those crazy expensive anthuriums, we are going to talk about another plant that is super commonly available, that you can pick up everywhere, that's reasonably priced, and that is the Alocasia cuprea. I don't know how I feel about this plant, if I'm being completely honest. Like, part of me likes it. Part of me thinks it's cool and unique and really fun, and they can grow huge, and part of me loves them. But the other part of me just, they just look, I don't know, they creep me out. It looks like some kind of alien creature. It looks like a brain. They are slimy. I don't like the red backs. I don't like the red emergent leaves. I don't know what it is. Like, the shininess, it just looks wet and slimy. And then with those like pronounced ribs, it just, for some reason, it creeps me out. It looks literally like it came from a horror movie. It looks like it's gonna eat my brains. It looks like brains, and I'm just, I'm not here for it. I don't know. I know this is a very, very popular plant. A lot of people love these, and a lot of people grow them to be really gorgeous, big, majestic plants. And I say, good for freaking you. Honestly, I don't know. Like, maybe I would change my mind if I actually tried to grow one and had like a really nice specimen. I think I could maybe love it. Maybe, I don't know, but just like seeing it online and just something is creeping me off and I do not like it. So the copria is not one on my list. The variegated one, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the variegated one. Like, again, something about it is off. I'm looking at some pictures. Never mind. I hate the variegated one. Maybe I hate the variegated one even more. It looks diseased. And it looks like it has the same problem that the pink princess has, which is another plant that I freaking hate. But I kind of feel like the pink princess gets hate all around, so I didn't want to include that one in this video. But it has the same issue where the pink variegation just turns brown and it just looks muddy and not as vibrant and saturated as we would like it to be, because what I want from a pink variegated plant is like that bright, saturated neon pink, and most of the time it just looks brown. It just looks brown. I'm sorry. It just looks freaking brown. It looks ugly. And I'm not here for it. And the copria, it's just, no, it's just creeping me out a little bit too much. And I feel like since it's an alocasia, it would definitely be a spider mite magnet. And I don't know. I feel like they would really get stuck in those ribs. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Another alocasia that I wanted to actually put on this list is the Jacqueline, or I think it's now reclassified or recalled or whatever as the Thunderosa. I don't know why. But yeah, the Jacqueline, Thunderosa, whatever. That one, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. But I think I like that one definitely more than the copria. So the copria, it's a chop. It's a chop for me. Zero, maybe like 2 out of 10, maybe 2 out of 10, just for the like uniqueness. I'll give it that. It's unique. And then the last plant on my list is Monstera obliqua. And you will see kind of a theme throughout this whole video that I don't like plants that look sick or that just look like they would be a pain in the ass. And I think the obliqua hits all of those boxes, honestly. It's just looks sick, and it doesn't look sick in the good way. It looks sick in the sick way, and it looks like I want to help it, but I can't help it because there is no saving this thing. I don't know, just the holes. Like in theory, I think this plant is cool, but in practicality, again, it just looks sickly. It looks like it would brown easily. It looks like it would get damaged easily. It looks like it's a thrips magnet. And I have yet to see like a really nice, big, large specimen of it. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. It just looks like a pile of trash, if I'm being completely honest, which is so sad. And I love the Adansonii. I love the Escaleto, but the Peru just, it pushes it. It pushes it too much. It pushes the holiness too much. Like there is a certain limit of holiness that you should not be surpassing. But unfortunately, this plant just, it's too holy and it looks uncanny. It looks diseased. It looks like it needs help. This plant literally looks like it is screaming for help. It looks like it wants you to kill it. It literally looks like it wants to just die and meet its creator. And I don't blame it, because if I looked that way, yeah, I would wish upon death as well. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me. But these aren't as pricey as they used to be, so I guess that's a good thing. Even if I got this plant for free, I would probably not be interested in growing it. Plus, I know that it loves to throw out runners, and if it doesn't have anything to climb, it's just runs and runs and runs for miles, and I am not interested in plants that run. That's why I got rid of my Monstera Peru. That's actually another plant that I don't like anymore and that I would never add to my collection. And let me know if you would like a video where I talk about plants that I used to own but will never own again. And the Monstera Peru would definitely be on that list. Once again, if you love any of these plants, please love them. Don't let my words or anybody else's words impact your opinion. You have the right to your own opinion, just as I have the right to my own. But I did hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what are some popular plants that you hate. I would love to know. And let me know if you agree or disagree with my list. I would also love to know and hear from you guys and have a nice little discussion in the comment section below. But until next time, I hope you have a super fantastic, fabulous day. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!